Significant developments this week in the case of 5 former Canadian World Junior hockey players, who we learned today will be before a London, Ontario court Monday. Court documents list arrest dates for the 5 players charged in connection with an alleged attack on a woman in a London, Ontario hotel in June of 2018, after a Hockey Canada event. 4 of them are accused of committing a sexual assault, while Michael McLeod, currently on leave from the New Jersey Devils, is accused of a sexual assault and a second charge of being a, quote, party to the offense. Lawyers for the players say they deny any wrongdoing. Alex Formenton, who played for the Ottawa Senators, has taken leave from his professional team in Switzerland, while the others are on leave from their NHL teams. TSN's senior correspondent, Rick Westhead, has broken much of this story and tracked it all along. He's with us now for the latest. Rick, such a pleasure to have you with us. Thanks for making the time.
For sure.
What stands out to you in these court documents?
Well, there's a couple of things. The first in the documents today is confirmation that each of the 5 players have been charged with sexual assault, an offense which under the Criminal Code of Canada can mean a maximum of 10 years in prison. We also now know, of course, that Michael McLeod faces a second charge for being a party to. And I spoke to lawyers who specialize in sexual assault cases and asked them to try to put that into common English for us. What does that mean? And they said that means that the police believe that they can make a case that he was aiding and abetting a sexual assault, basically. And that if he's convicted of both charges, that second conviction could add years to a sentence.
And what do we know about what might happen Monday, or what to expect Monday?
Well, we know that the London police are going to talk to the public through the media and explain updates on the case. I imagine they're going to get a lot of questions about why this has taken so long to get where we are, what changed between February 2019, when police closed an investigation initially without laying any charges, and what changed over the many months that followed that before they reopened an investigation. July 2022, and bringing us to this where we are right now. The players do have a report date to be back in court on Monday. I'm not sure that we're actually going to see them. Again, the lawyers I've spoken with say that it's common that judges will allow lawyers for players to show up in their place, and that it's very possible that through all of the different pretrial hearings that will take place in the many months ahead, we may not actually see the players in a courtroom setting until an actual trial.
And do you have any indication why, I mean, beyond the delay that you mentioned, or the change that you mentioned, I mean, even in the last few weeks, all this started coming out, and it was like the London police were like, well, in 2 weeks, we'll give a press conference kind of thing. Any idea what that can be attributed to, if anything?
Yeah, sure. I think that was attributed to journalism. I think the Globe and Mail's Robin Doolittle broke a great story reporting that 5 players, they were unnamed at the time that she did her story, that they had a period of time to report to the police and surrender so they could be formally charged. And the public attention that created, I think, really brought a lot of pressure to bear on the London police to say something. And so they announced that there'd be a press conference to, again, bring the public up to date.
And finally, Rick, just before I let you go, I wanted to ask about the NHL more largely and how it is handling all of this. I think as someone who's doesn't know a lot about sports, but is like many Canadians kind of observing from the sides and watching this very closely unfold, there seems to be a lot of lack of accountability. I know people are innocent until they're proven guilty, but is there any accountability in the NHL now, or anything people are saying in the NHL about how they will govern themselves going forward?
I haven't heard anything. The NHL teams have all deferred comment to the National Hockey League head office. Of course, remember the timing. The NHL All-Star Game is this weekend in Toronto. Gary Bettman is scheduled tomorrow to do a press conference with the international media, and I would imagine that he will be asked many questions about what's happening here, about, for instance, the status of the NHL's investigation into the allegations here. We still haven't found out the results of Hockey Canada's investigation, which may be important. We don't know still how people within Hockey Canada responded when they first learned of these allegations. Were proper protocols followed? So there's a lot of, as you point out, accountability. There's a lot of accountability that I think still has to happen with this. And if you play it out kind of over the broader context of hockey, that's troubling for a federation that's trying to repair the public trust. We've seen the entire upper management of Hockey Canada turned over. Sponsors have left, and then now they've started to come back slowly. But again, if the narrative around this remains to be one of secrecy and a lack of accountability, you wonder how the federation can possibly just keep moving forward and how sponsors can keep pumping millions of dollars into that federation.
Yeah, super valid questions. Rick, thank you so much for your time tonight and for all your work on this story. I appreciate it.
Thank you.